Hello, beautiful warrior souls. This is Anna with the Dance of Evolving. Thank you for those of you who have tuned into my channel so far. And I just want to let you guys know that if you haven't met me yet, I have created this channel recently because I've been on a very interesting spiritual path where I am finally seeing things for the first time. And it's so empowering that I want to be able to share this knowledge with others. I want to be able to build a community to where we can collaborate and grow and give together. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, and this type of message resonates with the type of path that you are on, feel free to do so. I will be actually putting out 2 videos per week with new content, and you are able to leave any comments below letting me know what kind of topics that you might want in the future for future weeks. Don't forget to like this video as well if it resonates with your soul journey. Today, we are going to be focusing on how to live in the highest energy of love and strength. And not just to get there one day, but how to find this path and remain there successfully. Oh, don't forget, actually stay tuned to the end because I'll be giving a lot of background information, but at the very end, I'll be giving those 3 main ways that you can truly live in that highest energy of love and strength. And it's really, I honestly think everything you need to know. I mean, I'm currently on this journey. Is it easy? No. But is it so far what I need to know in order to remain on this path? Yes. And so I'm so excited to share it with you. I feel that there are truly 3 main steps to truly remain in this divine journey and live a fulfilled life, and not one that just fulfills you, but one that also impacts the multitudes around you. I mean, you could be going anywhere and you'll be magnifying such joy that your life is truly a ministry. It's a really neat thing. So let's go ahead and get into this here. Anyone who I really speak to, we all want to live this fulfilled, happy life that's cleared of obstacles. I feel like I've always had obstacles. I never knew really how to get rid of them. A lot of them were subconscious. A lot of the people who I run into and I'm talking to, there are a lot of things that keep us from truly living the life that we want to live. And unfortunately, these obstacles keep us in these locked patterns that no longer serve us. And sometimes we know that we're in them and sometimes we don't. We all, I would assume, want to find joy and purpose, knowing that we are here for a reason and on the path of purpose. Here's the thing, it's like, how do we get there? It seems like such a hard journey to get to. So I want to get into how to get into that highest energy of carrying that love and that strength within, that you are able to impact others in a meaningful way on a daily basis. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to even do it. And then like, where do we begin? And then how do we stay on that path? So, and this path is more like a redirection. It's not necessarily that you're on this horrible path right now, because everywhere we have been in life is kind of where we needed to be to end up where we're going. And I know that sounds a little cliche, but it's the truth. And that's also a way in order to look at things so we can forgive ourselves for, former choices that we made. We all have done the best where we were at that moment. So let's first start thinking about this as a redirection. We want to find an intentional awareness to get on the path of the highest energy. And this is so powerful to do. This I'm talking about is an energy. It's an energy that aligns. I mean, an alignment is such a peaceful thing. We think of alignment with our back, things like that. But I'm talking about alignment with your soul, your mind, your body, your spirit. You have a harmony to you. This is what we're talking about today. And it's something I truly haven't experienced until over the last few months. And I'm so thankful to have felt this and to be able to live it. So let's talk about our highest energy. First of all, it's available to us. It actually comes from above. We have a divine, you can call God. We have a divine, the universe, however you want to say it, however you believe, there is a love from that is way bigger than us. And this love takes time to cultivate. We can balance this love and unspeakable joy that allows us to feel this. And I spoke before of how you have this relationship with yourself, a love relationship with yourself, where you realize that you are not separate from a divine God, from a source that can give you actually what you need to fulfill your purpose. And once you can tap into that source and know that it's readily available for you at all times, and it's like, whoa. And that's what we mean by fill your cup. Your cup is full. It's not like, oh, I have to go serve. It's how can I serve? It is such a cool way to live your life. And to be quite honest, it all starts with an honest awareness of where you are currently, of your thoughts, conscious, subconscious, that continue patterns in our life. I personally, and I've been keeping track day by day, kind of what I've been going through, so I could keep track of what I've overcome, what I'm struggling with. And it starts with studying the patterns in your life, like looking over the years, months, weeks, even days, and thinking, I ultimately control the direction that these patterns go. Are they continuing? Am I going to stop these? Are these patterns that move me forward to where I want to be? So it's not like you have to set a 10-year plan. You think, okay, my patterns that I am actually following through with my mind, body, soul, and spirit, my whole being, are they serving me in the direction that I want to go? A lot of our lives, I would say, I'm speaking for myself here, our lives are filled with unhealthy patterns. And here's the thing, though, is many of us look for a different reality, I'm including myself, guys, to save us from the current reality that we are in. And so let's say, I'm just going to give a quick example. Even if you don't like say a certain position that you're in. And so then you go and you feel like you need to seek, another position, and maybe for a job, or, work tirelessly to start a business, but you're not really feeling like it's meshing. Well, there's a sign right there that you're actually trying to just find another pattern you're trying to find an escape, really finding the root of, okay, what is making me discontent? Because what happens is the patterns are going to continue. All of our patterns have a source. It's an emotion, it's an event, it's something that we have not dealt with. Our patterns will continue to show up in different ways as lessons. It's still a type of codependency. So just because we've gone a different route doesn't mean that we've stopped the pattern. I hope this is making sense to you. Feel free to leave any comments if you have any confusions or if this resonates with you. Here's the thing, is anytime we try to run or escape our reality, and if you're like, well, what does that mean, Anna? I can make it pretty clear because, well, I've done it. So anytime you make a choice out of guilt, fear, insecurity, and not out of love, joy, peace, your intuition, what your soul's telling you to do, when you're truly lined up, opposite of your ego. So anytime your ego comes in and you are fearful, you feel guilty, you feel insecure, you don't feel good enough, so you make a decision, this pattern is going to continue, and it will show up as experiences in life until we are able to break them as lessons learned, then to eventually help others break through as well. See, we are placed here on this earth to grow and give. So if we're not able to learn lessons from the patterns that we continue, they're going to continue showing up until we learn them, because we're strong enough to learn them. It's really up to us to recognize them. That was the powerful thing for me. I started to notice patterns in my life, and I'm like, I actually can decide if I want these patterns to keep showing up, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in a disorganization, my habits in my job, my habits in the way I treat people, my habits in the way I talk to myself. And I know a lot of us deal with the same things. Your thoughts are super powerful. So we think, okay, well, how do we actually break through these so then we can know how to help other people and recognize when they're also going through some of the same things? It's not the easiest thing. You have to sit still and look at the root of what makes us escape this reality. We have to get in there and face the fear, the guilt, the insecurity head on to be able to raise our vibration and frequency, because our patterns are keeping us in a way lower vibration and frequency. And it's in a whole other path that we actually weren't meant to walk on. I know in I think it was my very first video I ever posted. It was like how to overcome yourself. I refer to these patterns or these blockages. It's like, and I remember Michael Singer and Untethered Soul referred to these as like rocks. And I heard another girl who's also on another spiritual path, Lori is her name. She referred to these as boulders. And I mentioned this in the first video. We are not meant to carry these boulders. We are meant to flow in the current of the water without resistance and control. So think about your path in life. Think about, do you feel like you're treading against the flow of water, first of all? Or do you feel like you're flowing in the path of the water, in the current of the water? And so that's the first thing. I'm like, well, if every day I feel like I'm actually going against the stream, I need to turn around. And then second, when we come across a boulder, it could be a boulder, it could be a rock, it could be a small stone, whatever it is. And what I refer to this, it's like those nudges. It could be you catch yourself judging someone. You are annoyed if somebody cuts you off. Little things like this, guys, because this is not natural to the high vibration, the frequency, the energy of love and peace and joy that we should be living. So something's causing this. So, and it could be something even way deeper, like a fear of abandonment. So your heart's closed off and you're worried about a new relationship or anything like that. When you feel this, that's a boulder. It is time to be still. Now, I like to picture it. I heard someone refer to it. It's like when you're flowing down that river, you don't need to pick up the boulder and carry it. That's what a lot of us do. And it's exhausting. When they used the term before, with these mountains, we are not meant to carry. We are meant to overcome them, like climb over them. It's kind of the same analogy. We're not meant to carry these boulders, these stones, these rocks. We're definitely not meant to suppress them and keep them within our souls to the point that we don't even know our own identity. Our identity is a whole different template than what we were actually born to be. I like to think we can just knock right into them, take them head on, sit with these emotions and really not try to escape it, facing the fear, the guilt, the insecurity head on to raise our vibration and frequency. Many times our ego will get in the way to create a blueprint of how things and people and experiences should be based on past events. So catch yourself when you do this. When you're expecting people to be a certain way, when you're trying to control things, when you are unable to surrender to the path of life, because let's be honest, we really can't control a lot of things. And surrendering and going with the flow and being present in the true moment and adding value to the world each day is a way better way to do it. So being able to get rid of all of these things that keep us from being in the present moment and really leaving our soul signature on this planet, these are the boulders. Now, I'm going to go into exactly how to do this because it's a painful process. But let me think here. Boulders I mentioned could be like if you feel resistance to the flow, anger, need to control, like I said, jealousy. If you find yourself even comparing yourself to others, judgment, Need for external validation. Guys, I'm gonna keep it real. I found myself dealing with the boulder, checking social media too much. And then I was like, why am I doing it? I found that I needed to feel a connection. And I needed, I don't know, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm feeling a codependency. I'm feeling lonely. I need to actually look within more and have that relationship with myself and feel the love from our divine and feel that joy and align myself so I'm ready to actually have true connections with people on a day-to-day basis instead of spending a bunch of time on social media. Do I think social media is bad? No, but your why is everything. So when you know your why is off and when you catch yourself, these are boulders. So anything that's not aligned with your most sovereign self, look within and then think these boulders are meant to bump into and work through. So sometimes I have to go back into moments or an initial moment that initially brought up these emotions for me that I've been holding on to. Is that easy? No. Then I need to reframe these past events as almost stepping stones to catapult me into this new journey, to be of service and to empower others and to grow into my most sovereign self. Because the more we reframe these boulders and these past experiences and a lot of the things that we're struggling through and pretending like we are not holding on to, we start to become thankful for these moments, even though they're hard. Because without these boulders, I mean, we would not be the warriors that we are becoming. And that's actually the truth. It takes forgiving ourselves and others from the past to recognize how many blockages that we actually have that keep us from fully being present and feeling true joy and love within. And I mentioned before, like we talk about self love. And I'll be honest, I used to think like self love was just taking care of yourself, creating boundaries, affirmations. It's more than that. That true love relationship with yourself is digging within, having the guts and taking the time to dig within and remove these boulders, dealing with your shadows and be able to feel the true love that we are meant to feel within, that we were actually born with. And taking the time to line our body with our mind and our soul and our spirit, knowing that our soul is separate from our temporary body, but lining all of this up, remembering who we are, and moving away from our past identities that we've just taken on before remembering our true selves. The more we do this, we feel that joy and love that overflows to others in a way that's not needy. It's awesome. And there's, it's not full of expectations and conditions. You just want to be there for another beautiful soul because you also feel their energy. And it's that proper exchanges of energy that it could be a friendship, it could be a new relationship blossoming, that could turn into something spectacular. But you just know that there's some type of way that you guys will be serving together within this journey. It's a really cool thing. And you don't create relationships out of need. The more we do this, we're strengthened to continue just this dance of redirecting and breaking patterns. And guys, I'm talking patterns like generational patterns, like patterns you'll start to notice that many people maybe in your family or that you don't want to pass down. You could not just make a difference for yourself, but create a ripple effect that could affect your family. And then think about all of the people who you're going to be able to impact after you've overcome such a hard thing. It's cool. It's really cool. And it's part of your purpose. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick example. So like I mentioned, the fear of abandonment. Well, think about that. If you hold on to a fear of abandonment, I mean, your heart's going to be closed. You are going to be upset from past experiences. You're going to have different ways that you're going to try to escape this emotion. So you could have repeated patterns of, I'm speaking from experience from a few of these. And then I've, from sharing with other friends, some other friends have told me ways that they've also had repeated patterns. It could be of like overworking, to not deal with the fear that you're having of abandonment, or let me think, like partying, and I mean in a way not to celebrate life. 'Cause don't get me wrong, I can go and dance for hours, but partying to numb the pain, or looking for external validation from others as an escape, because maybe now you don't feel the true worth of your soul and you feel that people just abandon you. So now maybe you are looking for a physical attraction as a validation that you're okay. And to be quite honest, anytime that I've talked to people who do that, it's really not a true thing that will last that long, because but your why is off. Um, Instead of facing this initial fear head on and changing the lens in which we look at life through, it could change everything. And it could keep you from experiencing things that could be so beautiful in life. And it could keep others from experiencing your one soul signature, the impact, the one impact that you can make on their life. So I'm starting to realize it is my duty to do this inner work, because I am meant to spread a true love and joy to others in a way that these blockages can't hold them back. So each day it is my job to notice these nudges and to get rid of these boulders, so I can be of service each day and ask, how can I serve? Life is a school of lessons. We are given the tools to overcome if we tap in to the energy surrounding us. We have a source. I mean, look around you, look at nature. Everything is working together, whether or not we try to control it. And when we try to control it, we lose control. So conquering these patterns, so we will not continue these cycles of patterns, is kind of our duty. It will help us see others with compassion, so then we can also help them overcome. It's like the ultimate growing and giving. It's a cycle, though, of surrendering to the emotions, working through them, and then, liberation. As we are liberated, we can help others by serving and doing the same. So I hope this is making sense to you. So let's get into really how to do this. Awareness is everything, guys. It starts with an awareness. If you find, and this is how I got this awareness, if you find that you're discontent with your life and you're seeing patterns that don't serve you, guys, that's a great thing. That means you're closer to finding that higher purpose that you're called for. But then catch yourself, if you're still looking for a different reality to save you from that current reality that you're still in, don't let yourself fall back into codependency. This means that fear is still in the mix. You know what fear feels like. When you feel the fear, catch it. It's a gift to have that awareness, because then you can work through it. Is it a daily dance? Yeah, I'm working through it today. And every day you can become stronger. But it's better than turning a blind eye to fear. Confront the fear. The one thing that you then focus on once you have that awareness are your emotions. The more you line up with your emotions to who you are, in the core of who you are, you're going to be able to eliminate that fear and the guilt and the insecurities and get to that higher vibration and frequency. And you're going to be on that path of your soul signature. And I think I've been able to clarify, I hope, that your soul signature is the one, like we have our specific signature, and our soul has a specific signature. We can leave that everywhere we go. There is only one of you. There's only one of me. To know that value and to know that you are filled with a divine love and you have a joy that you can then spread to others and give them hope. And then you start to see people in a whole different lens. People don't annoy you. You see them with love. You see them maybe possibly going through some of the same things that you are working through. It's almost like you have this awesome, authentic ministry and it's your life. And you have a different reason to wake up. It's it's outstanding. And it's an everyday dance. So when you're ready for this, your path is going to change because you're not going to be dependent. At least you're going to have such an awareness that you'll catch yourself. When you find that you're dependent on material things, or when you catch yourself needing outside validation, you'll be like, no, 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 this is not the path I should be on. You'll be ready for the path that's been paved for you. I can remember the very first time that I felt like I'm here and truly, truly present to be with my soul family who I'm with. We were out in public and I mentioned it to him because I didn't realize that I had such a need for validation or insecurities that were distracting me from being in the present. What's going to save you is facing your shadows. And what I mean by your shadows are the things that have been hidden within you. Your shadows can unlock your potential if you can face them. That's the cool thing. Every time we ignore a shadow, we delay our divine path and we continue unhealthy patterns that don't serve us. We think that like, oh, I'll deal with it later. It's not a big deal. No, it actually makes life harder. And I'm saying this because I'm comparing me with all my shadows before. And now that I've worked through many, how much more free I feel. I mean, I just love thinking and comparing of the words surrender and liberation. They truly go hand in hand. When you find that you are reacting, you're under a program of unresolved trauma. It could be trauma of anything. If you're trying to control, when we are reactive, we are not adding anything to the universe. If you find that you're in that me victim mentality, you're not adding anything to the universe. And you're going to go down a downward spiral, probably of depression, and stunt your growth. It's like putting your head in the sand, deeper, deeper, deeper. A lack of forgiveness could be holding us back subconsciously too. And we might not even realize that we're not forgiving. And a way to know if we need to deal with forgiveness is to pay attention when we put up those walls around our heart space. Like it deals with the future encounters, our current encounters that we experience. They're all affected based on past experiences. That can be a gift if we recognize them. It can show us where we still need to activate forgiveness. Forgiveness is freeing, and you don't have to be in front of the person who you need to forgive. You can reframe the experience. Once you work through your trauma, your emotions, you can see them with different eyes. And I know that sometimes it might be hard because sometimes we might be dealing with extreme trauma. But reframing that experience as a way that you can grow and then serve and become an ultimate warrior of your path, your divine path. We are all unique. And I truly believe that. And we all add a specific value to this planet during the life that we live, if we choose to do so. And we can have our own divine ministry that complements all the other collective souls who decide to also be within that ministry. It's important to see what stories from the past we're holding on to that affect every moment that we have in the now. Because that affects our ministry, guys. We project our past onto other people, events, and it's like through a lens of hurt and fear and a need to forgive. It's like it shows us that we need to forgive others in order to free ourselves. If we don't do this, we don't actually get to see life through a lens of love or authenticity that an experience can actually bring us. Experiences are gifts. And instead, we see through like a tumultuous water of the past that can punish the people who we meet. We actually can have amazing people come our way. And yet then, we can punish them by not opening our hearts. And it's based on what we carry that we haven't dealt with. It's our duty. It is our duty. Instead, we can misinterpret everything that comes in front of us. So what I'm trying to say, it is our job to step into our highest frequency. And this is the extreme and majestic frequency that we are supposed to be in. So all these other frequencies that we allow are lodged into our body. And believe it or not, they are held there by choice. This keeps us, guys, from really having an exceptional life. It doesn't matter what career path you're on. You can be at any job and you can serve with this type of ministry. But to be quite honest, once you start to take out all of these things that have been lodged in you, all these boulders, who knows what you're able to create? Because your state of flow, the space that you're going to have, spirit led to create what you are called to create. You never know what your future path could be once you do this inner work. Think of all the opportunities that we left behind or that we passed by because we had a regret or a chip on our shoulder, or all the connections we could have had if our walls had been let down and we disarmed ourselves. When we have a shield around our heart, we don't trust anyone. No one can impact us. And get this, we can't impact anyone else. So we're just existing, which leads to sadness, depression, a lack of purpose. Ding, ding, ding. It all started to make sense to me. Knowing how much your past experiences can affect your current ones and having that awareness, it gives you more motivation to break free from these patterns and help you see that there is so much more than the lens in which you've been looking life through in the past. It helps you see the templates that you've been living through and the false identities that you've been living that actually aren't who you are to the core. You might even see that a lot of the things that you're doing might just be for the wrong reason because of unmet needs within yourself. You could transform so fast when you do this inner work. And we need to illuminate, we need to shine a light on the filters of our past to be able to live in the present and create a future that will naturally fulfill us. There is nothing like living in the present. And I'm talking more than just, let's be mindful, let's be in the here and now. I mean, like you are unapologetically, authentically yourself, where it's like, here I am confident in the love and the joy that has been so full within myself that I am here to magnify this joy and just to love life, even in the midst of a storm. And that is the truth. So what we want to do is open our hearts, take accountability for standing in our own way, forgive ourselves for it too, and be ready to eliminate these filters that keep us from feeling, experiencing, loving, and living life through this majestic high vibrational energy that we're called to live. So let's talk about the steps. So we're at the end here, and thank you for staying with me. So now let's talk about the actual steps. So step one, let's say awareness. Next time you feel that nudge, that's not a high vibration, and you need to control. If someone angers you or annoys you, if you find yourself holding a grudge or judging someone, if you find yourself playing victim, be still, go within, find the root of it. What is truly causing you to feel this way? Sit with it as long as you need to. Find the best way to self parent yourself. It could be, I mean, sometimes I just need to cry it out. I'll sit in the bathtub and I will talk to myself. I will get through it. But it's an honest conversation. And it sometimes takes me days and weeks, possibly. But I don't ignore it anymore. You could pray, journal, meditate, go on walks, take baths, whatever works for you. But feel that original emotion that's causing this and have an awareness of the shadow that needs to be addressed. So, step one, awareness. Step two, respond instead of reacting. There's a big difference between those two. Knowing that the boulder's there, like we said, the awareness is the first step. So now being willing to bump into that boulder and work through it as a response strategically, which, yes, it can be painful. It can be really painful, but comparing sitting through it and crying through it and like deciding how you are going to overcome this, reframing, reliving through and reframing the original event that's causing it helps you know that you are no longer going to continue these codependent destructive patterns that you have been constantly repeating that are putting you down this black hole. So it is worth the pain. So if we don't do this, these blockages do not go away and they mask us from truly living, as we've been saying. So really the responding is more of like a surrendering to this painful process, surrendering to the emotion, sitting through the things about ourselves that we don't want to face is actually the most liberating thing we can do. So surrender to the emotion, to that nudge, to that boulder, and working through it. And sometimes that's a continual dance, because I believe it was in my first video about overcoming yourself. It's like you have two versions of yourself. You have your high frequency version, and then you're also going to have, you catch yourself back into your older version of yourself, dancing back into these patterns, and it's not a dance you want to do. But the cool thing is you have that awareness now where you're like, nope, 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 and you catch it, work through it. So again, number one, have that awareness. Number two, respond by surrendering to the emotion, to that nudge, bump into the boulder. Instead of reacting, respond. Step three, now it's time for you to be that warrior. Step into your highest energy of love and strength at that moment. And then here's where you can ask, how can I serve? How can I serve now that I have worked through this? This is the most powerful thing. And guys, this is what made me want to open this channel. This is what also made me want to become a teacher. But what also, this whole process is what also made me realize that I was a people pleaser and that I overgave myself because I didn't know my worth, because I had a lot of emotions to work through. So, and it made me question my why. It's all such a powerful process. So step three, step into your highest energy of love and strength. Now serve with that strength. Help other people with the power that you have now been able to give yourself, because you tapped into the source that you've already had this whole time. Now that you know how to do this, you can help other people. You will now have a sense of compassion when you do this. You'll see others also going through what you've been able to surrender and liberate yourself from. This world, guys, is full of so many beautiful souls who are also ready to shine if they only knew how. And once you tap into this secret, it's our duty to serve. We can first lead by example, then we can serve in a way to empower them, anyone else on this journey who's ready, to feel they can also step into their divine soul signature path that only they were created to fulfill. It's such a beautiful journey and a dance that we all have a part of, but yet have a unique job within. And when we think about it, although our souls are eternal, we've been placed in this body as a vehicle to love, to magnify joy, to spread kindness, and empower others to do the same. So, as an objective observer of yourself each day, start to see where you can gain awareness and begin your path of freedom. So, not only can you live a liberated life, but you can have a ministry of liberating others and helping them live the life that they were called to live as well. Thank you for staying with me. I look forward to going on this journey of surrendering and liberating with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any comments that you'd like to leave, or any topics, or anything about this video that you want to give me any feedback on, feel free to comment below and I'll be sure to respond. All right. Thanks. Peace and love.